first time conference, so glad to be in the hot seat.
Yeah.
I wanted to go into a deeper discussion about the vortex. And my understanding of it is that when I have a specific desire, it goes into this sort of soup and it mixes with other specific desires. And so what comes out of that, the totality of the vortex is more than its parts. So what comes out of that could be something that I don't expect, yet it's the complete gestalt of all of my desires. Is that a correct understanding?
There are parts of it that are absolutely accurate. There are a couple of things that we want to add a little clarification about. When you said a specific desire that I'm putting into the vortex, your vortex is made up mostly of unspecific desires.
Yes.
They become specific as they gather momentum. The vortex contains a powerful basis, or you might say essence, of every specific desire that you consciously are aware of. But it's not because you specified and put it there. It's because you generalized and it became specific and then you received it.
Right, so it's...
Wait, don't say right so easily. Make sure you got that. That was
Certainly.
big.
That was big.
That was really big. Repeat it back to us.
Since
No.
what you're saying is that you cause a desire to go in, but it's in its essence. It's not necessarily the specific desire, it's the essence of that desire that you're looking for.
It's the why you want it that you've been
Exactly.
putting in all of your life experience. But you've also then been living life and acknowledging other things that you prefer. And all of your preferences are considered, and law of attraction is bringing them to very specific probabilities that will thrill you when you allow them. But your attention to the specifics, which you don't understand, often prevents you from getting them.
Exactly.
That was big.
It was very big.
And most of you didn't like it very much. And so we want to clarify just a little bit. We've been saying for a while that everything that everyone wants, they want it because they believe in the having of it, they will feel better. So, for example, if you're rude to someone, it feels awful. And in the being rude, you create a focal point of being the loving being that you really are. And in fact, the more rude you are, the more love you crave or ask for. When you're confused, you want clarity. When you're unsure, you want stability. When you are lost, you want to be found. When you don't have enough money, you want more money. All of these things that happen all day long are causing you to create this vibrational, you called it a soup, we like that, of desire, of intentions. And law of attraction is gathering all of those cooperative components together. Now, something else, we've never said this to anyone before. Something else that is happening when life causes you to know what you don't want, which causes you to ask for what you do want. Your inner being, who is pure positive energy, who is infinite intelligence, who knows everything about the becoming of you, not the having become of you, the becoming of you, can vibrationally fast forward to a very clear picture of the fulfillment of everything that you're asking for. Can you imagine that in a petri dish or an environment of no resistance, how fast your desires can become a reality? The things that you are asking for are shaping up to be magnificent things that you can't see yet because you haven't achieved the vibrational acuity to receive the picture that your inner being has about it. But as you get on the beat of it, as you get on the frequency of it, then you get to begin to watch what you created coming into being right before your eyes. What's unknown to you is known by your inner being. Now, let's go back to what we said several times today already. When you are experiencing the absence of something you want, the presence of what you want takes form. But you can't see the presence of it because you're focused upon the absence of it. When life shows you a problem, you create a solution, but you can't see the solution. But that doesn't mean it isn't there, and that doesn't mean that your inner being doesn't know that it's there. We can turn this into more positive sound. What it does mean is that what you're asking for is in the state of becoming, and that's just a given. You don't know it's a given. We keep telling you it's a given because we see it, so for us it is a given. Things that you want are a given. You just gotta stop focusing upon their absence in order for them to come into awareness or perspective for you. We're way out there, friends, and if you followed us, you're as far on the leading edge as any human has ever been. So what we're really talking about, and we'll hear you in a moment, what we're really talking about is the relationship between you, the creator, and you, the creator. We're talking about the different parts that we are all playing in each other's experience for the creation of all of this. When you know you don't want it, here it is. When you are experiencing the absence of something, you feel empty about something. Its opposite is created in that moment, which is so new unto the universe that you couldn't possibly recognize it. It's in the very, very early stages, but Source knows, Source sees, Source tends to it, Source focuses upon it, Source knows it and continues to know it until you know it. And when you know it, then it manifests and everyone gets to know it. So the arguments in your government and the arguments around the world and the wars and the hatred, can you imagine the solutions that that is creating? Can you imagine what Source knows? And when you watch the television, which one of those are you part of? Are you adding more? What are you goosing up? Are you goosing up more of the problem? Well, no problem to goose up the problem, because you can't goose up the problem without goosing up the solution. But how long do you intend to reside in this physical body, void of the solution that you have created? When you get it, that with all of this that you don't want, you're creating something that you do want. And you don't have to wait for the others to come around to understanding it. You can go right there now. You can find the solutions, you can find the peace, you can find the love, you can find the knowing, you can find the clarity, you can find the stability, you can find the fun. You can find it right here, right now, you see. So now.
You offered some very good words earlier. You said, feel it into place.
Oh, it's fun to talk to you. We want to clarify that it's already come into place. You feel it into your recognition of it. You feel it into your ability to perceive it. You feel it into your realization of something that already exists. We've taken faith to a whole new level, haven't we?
Indeed. Very good.
Yeah.
The components are already there.
Yeah.
It's only that you have to realize it in your field of.
And who put them there? You put some of them there before you came into this body. You put a whole lot of them there ever since. But what you didn't realize is that while you were stirring it up and knowing that you didn't like that job because there was not enough freedom and there was too much pressure, that at the same time you were creating something magnificent that you had equal access to. If you could just release your attention to the problem and begin focusing on the solution. A solution that the Source within you has already well identified and is holding in perfect visual format for you to pick up on.
A great economist, Ludwig von Mises, said that the only creation is done in human thought. What we do in the physical is produce. We create in human thought. So creativity. What words would I would just want some general words on creativity as it relates to feeling it into place.
We would add to what your brilliant friend says. It's an interesting journey that we take you on even today, because you're focused upon the production in the terminology that you just offered. You're focused upon the manifestation, the manufacturing, the stuff, the creation. And we want to take you from that leading edge, there's no ending point, but out there on that, toward the end of the becoming, where the thoughts are actually becoming the things or the production. We want to bring you back to the vibrational essence of it. And we don't want you, ultimately, to make a distinction between any difference between this part of the becoming and 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 this part of the becoming, because in truth it is all production. Because until someone's realized it, there is no motion forward. We're speaking from our point of view to you who's standing in the middle of your point of view. And until you realize it, it isn't anything that's physically manifested. We can know everything that we know, and we know everything that we know. We know everything that is about the vibrational essence of everything. But the whole point of you all being here in this physical environment is because creation wants to manifest in a way that it can be fully realized by those who are creating it. The seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching of creation matters really, really, really a lot. We're not for a moment wanting to get you to go into the vortex where we all just feel things and we meditate and we feel the vibration of things and there's this nebulous stuff and we all feel good. That's part of the process, but that's not what our intention is for you. Our intention is take this step so that you can go all the way to the production part of it. And thought is the essence of all of that, all of that, all of that, all of that, all of that. Because before it turns to any kind of reality that you can acknowledge as reality, there has to be realization of it. And the realization is all thought. So whether you call it thought or whether you call it production, it's all parts of the same exact thing. So here we come into your life experiences and we pick up with you after you've been long in these physical bodies, and you have such a bent that isn't serving you toward looking at conditions and manifestations. And so we spend quite a bit of time with lots and lots of you to get you to start stepping back from the see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch and version of your life, which is so important, and get you to begin thinking about the vibrational version of it, only so that we can take you back to the see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it version of it. It all goes together, you see. But not understanding this part of it takes all of the joy out of this part of it. And if your attention is only upon this part of it, then you never get your hands really in the clay. Then you're not really a participant. Then you're just a regurgitator. Then you're just watching what other people do. Oh, it is so much fun when you stand where you stand and you explore what's there and you let a problem build within you and you understand that a solution is building too, and then you choose which one you focus upon. Okay, the problem's gotten big enough that the solution is really rewarding. I think I'll make the switch. But it's hard to make the switch because there's so much momentum in the problem. You can't make the switch. You got to do something, and a lobotomy is not the answer. Meditation is the answer. Meditation will help you to make the switch from the problem that produced the solution to the solution that you seek. But the solution is still going to be a long time in the becoming. Delicious, 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 delicious in becoming. Why? Because the goal was never to create the manifestation. The goal was always to have the experience of creating the manifestation. It's not about what you create. It's about the feeling of creation. You are the creator. You are also the creation. You are the project. You are what it is all about. You, the thinker, getting to think. You, the realizer, getting to realize. We are all consciousness. We are consciousness. And you have the wonderful fortune of being in a physical body, in a physical time and space that helps you to focus. It helps you focus problems into being, which helps you focus solutions into being, which assures us all a future experience. Your focus is what keeps the eternalness in eternity. Your willingness to explore and ask for more is what calls it all forward. That's why we're all so enthusiastically contributing and interacting with you about everything that matters to you. You have never been alone. And now you know that you're not alone. Maybe you'll relax a little and listen for some of the stuff we know. The stuff that we know that is about the stuff that you're asking about. And we're not talking through this format called Esther. We're talking about through your own receiving mode that comes to you through your own quieting of your own mind. We haven't used this word today, but it is the key word in all of this. Satisfaction, the feeling of having moved forward and then letting yourself catch up to where you've moved to. That feeling of satisfaction, of coming into alignment with who you really are.